the girl a-running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod. She's my hot rod.
I thought this guy was dead, T-Rex. Ralph Nader. Is this guy still alive? He was old when I was a kid. Woo! Consumer advocate group founded by Ralph Nader and the Consumers Union have taken action against FCA Chrysler. We've been through this before, you guys, over numerous instances of stalling while driving in the 2017 Pacifica van. This is the van specifically designed to replace the Chrysler van, the hugely successful minivan. And this is the one they picked. This is going to be the replacement model for the Town and Country and the Caravan and all that, which was so popular. And, of course, if there's a problem, Chrysler, Sergio, and the boys, they drag their feet. We've been through this before. How many times have we talked about, you and I talked about Sergio Marchionne and FCA Chrysler, and they all the recalls they've had, and they refuse to act, or they have a recall, but they don't send anything out. The government says, hey, I thought you were sending out notices. Oh, we forgot. They drag their feet trying to see how many cars they can get away with not fixing. Not good. If you own a Pacifica, a new one, not even a new one, couple years old even. If it's dying out, you get in there and get it fixed. And don't take no for an answer, because that's just not right. Honda Motors is now using Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Honda Motors is using Facebook custom audience tool to find and notify car owners with Takata defective airbags. Ooh. So, if you get a message in Japanese symbols, you know what it is. Get in and get your airbags fixed. I mean, I would think that it's Honda from Japan, not Honda from here. Maybe it's from here. Whew, I don't know. But that's how they're finding people that have their airbags. Speaking of Takata, Key Safety Systems, Inc., which is a place small little airbag manufacturer up in Michigan, up in Detroit, has announced it will sign the agreement to purchase Takata Airbag Corporation for $1.6 billion. $1.6 billion. That ought to fix a few airbags, no? Oh, they got too many to do. $1.6 billion doesn't even scratch the surface of how bad Takata is in the hole. And they signed this in Detroit. Now, Key Safety has since been bought by Ningbo Joyson Electronics, a Chinese corporation. So now your airbags won't be made in Japan. They will be made in China. 928 car guys. If you want to say anything about that, please keep it nice. Anyhow, I'm sure somebody's got something to say about that. T-Rex. Now, and I told you this was going to be one of those days where I'm not making a lot of people happy. Elon Musk is bragging about all his new models and this new Tesla semi, and he got all his irons burning at full bore. Well, while this is happening, the A3 or the Model 3 has been halted. And while it's being halted, and of course, Tesla is the guy that's being sued for firing 400 people. He said he just laid them off for performance. They say it wasn't so. Just all kind of racial discrimination. Again, he's got his hands full with a lot of lawsuits too, much like Volkswagen and Takata and everybody else. But Bloomberg data has estimated that Elon Musk and Tesla are losing $8,000 a minute. $8,000 a minute. Now, I tell you what, I've played cards with Federici and the boys up at IMS, and I can't lose that much in a minute. $8,000 a minute comes out to $480,000 an hour. $480,000 an hour. But he's bragging about all his new models coming out. Well, why don't you focus on getting one on the road instead of developing all these new models and nobody's buying them? Yeah, I know he's got a lot of cars on the road. Chuck Pullen and the boys told me that last week, which reminds me, if you guys missed last week, You should go to the Facebook or Twitter or whatever, Big George the Carguy, and check out last week's show too. Even this week's show is great, but last week those guys, we went tooth and nail. They are very much advocates of the electronic cars, the self-driving cars, but very much the electric right now. And they taught me a lesson. I mean, I really learned a few things. Ryan from Clean City, suburban Clean Cities, whatever it is, South Shore Clean Cities. That's it. Thanks, Ryan. Anyway, those guys were great, and Lee, of course, Leon Simon from Lowell High School was here, and Chuck Pullen, the engineer from MeTV. I mean, these guys, they know their electronics, and they were good, and it was a lot of fun. And I got a little bit of an education, and I'll take that. I'm 66 years old. I'm still not too old to learn something new every day. So my slant on the electric cars has changed somewhat. Not a lot, but somewhat. So you know. Speaking of electric cars, as of next summer, Ford will offer its first hybrid plug-in fusion-based police sedan. Now, this is what, again, this was my biggest gripe with these guys, and it's my biggest gripe with electric cars in general. It's only got a range of 21 miles before you got to plug it in for 2.5 hours. It'll be the first vehicle built for it'll be the first electric vehicle built for police use that could make a whole shift without gasoline. That's if it stays in if it doesn't travel more than 21 miles. I'm sure the precinct can't be that big. I suppose you got to sit a lot. They say top speed is 85 mile an hour. I don't know. And it will have double the mileage per gallon rating of the non-hybrids. Well, of course it will. But here's the deal. 21 miles? Why so soon? Why do you got to announce that? Because you want to be the first. Oh, we're going to have the first police car. Why don't you make it have a 100-mile range and go 100 mile an hour and then announce it? Because someone might beat you to it with a lesser car. Well, you can't get a whole lot lesser than 21 miles 21 miles range. You aren't going to get any worse than that, for God's sakes. That's just not right. I don't know. That's my problem with the electric cars. Too much too soon. Everybody's in a hurry to be the first on the block. Delphi Corporation. You remember those joyous people that brought us Ignition Gate? Ignition Gate was the one where the car turns off, the biggest recall ever, blah, 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 till Takata. And it killed over 130 people and wounded hundreds more. Okay? That's 130 people we know about because they hid it. They covered it up for 20 years or 15 anyway. And and all those people that got killed early on, who's going to dig them up and see what happened to them or look at the cars are crushed, they're gone. It could have been ignition because there was a lot of them and it was a bad thing. People were getting killed. Well, anyway, those are the people that brought this to you. And now they say they're going to buy a Boston-based company for autonomous driving called Nutonomy. And they're going to pay $450 million for this guy. Why? Well, why does Delphi want that? Delphi doesn't make cars. Do they want what do they want to do? Well, we don't know, but after the Ignition Gate story, I don't trust Delphi, and I don't think I ever will. So don't ask me to even think about what they want to do because I don't care. I don't think it's right. Okay, those guys they should be under prosecution for the people they killed and the people that they might have killed. Volvo. Let's talk a minute about Volvo, which is really rapidly advancing as a car made in America. They're building plants. They're spending money. They don't want to import them anymore, and I can't blame them for that because it's going to cost them big bucks. If they want to sell them here, they got to make them here. And that's the way I like it. Trust me. Volvo has won the first self-driving car order. Oh, the first on the block to get a self-driving car order. It's called Robotaxi. From, of all companies, Uber. Okay, well, let's see if they got any money left after all this fiasco. But anyway, they got an order. The contract runs from 2019 till 2021. I don't think Uber's going to be here then, but that's all right. The contract runs from 2019 till 2021 and will include 24,000 X90C models. That's if Uber's still in business. This is exactly right. Volvo is excited about getting into the game, but consider this set of circumstances. Countries such as Denmark, Hungary, Bulgaria, Italy, China, and Taiwan, cities such as London, Austin, Texas, Vancouver, Canada, and Australia's whole entire Northern Territory have all either banned Uber or passed regulations to make it unprofitable for them to stay. Why? Like I told you. They don't screen their drivers, they don't screen the vehicles, and as we found out last week, their data is not protected. Last week when Colorado, Uber was fined $8.9 million by the state of Colorado when they found 57 Uber drivers who did not have valid driver's licenses, had felony convictions, oh God, or had a multitude of pending DUIs. Whew. And you saw the news. We talked about the news story about the hack data, and it's done. I think it's time to stick a fork in them. I don't think they're going to be around forever. I don't think they're going to be around much longer myself. Alabama, there's a multitude of locations that are vying to be next to Amazon headquarters. Well, we have a similar battle going on in our car world. Alabama and North Carolina are vying for the new plant that Toyota and Mazda are going to combine and build. It's a joint venture. They're going to bed, Toyota and Mazda. Don't ask me why. I thought Nissan bailed out. No, that Nissan bailed out Mitsubishi. Who knows? Anyway, it's hard to keep track of the bedfellows in this game. It really is. Toyota and Mazda combined effort plant. It's a $1.6 billion effort. And Alabama wants it. North Carolina wants it. Now, let's look at the differences. Alabama is the home to several other vehicle manufacturers, cars and trucks, and a host of suppliers. You know, the guys that they make the screws and the door panels and the seats and the seat belts and, just all the different little guys that you need to come together and put a car together. Because all these guys do is put it together. Very little of that car is made specifically by them. They buy the frame from this guy up to their specs, of course, and they buy the steering from these guys, and, it just goes on and on. Well, it's a natural choice. But wait. There is a problem. The company, Mazda and Toyota, have expressed a fear that there is not enough talent left in the pool in Alabama because there's too many car plants there, too many truck plants. They won't be able to get enough people to do the job, that are skilled or to staff their plant. It may be depleted to the point where they just can't get enough people. So that's the drawback to Alabama. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, which is home to like two big truck makers but no car manufacturers, has no car plants, and has a smaller network of suppliers, which could change if it had to, could be the source that Toyota and Mazda need for the fresh talent for a first ever joint venture. It's strange how they're going to do this, but they're going to spend $1.6 billion to build a plant and hire thousands of workers. The economy is just going to scream. It's nothing but good. It's all plus. It's all plus. Who cares what they're building there? I don't care if they're building go-karts. If it's a plant that hires thousands of Americans and puts them to work, hey, I'm in. I like it. I just can't. Where, what, when, and how, or why would we turn this kind of thing down? Well, Alabama wants it. North Carolina wants it. I'd like to see North Carolina get it because they need more plants. Alabama has its share of plants. Plus, I think there's a couple other companies looking. Volvo is building in Tennessee or Kentucky or maybe Alabama. I don't know. They're all starting to build here. I guess they got the word. If you're going to sell it here, you need to make it here. And again, I sound like a broken record, and I don't care. I like that. That's one thing I think is tremendous.